fill this house up with?
Myself and my stuff.
There you go. Okay. I like that.
Everywhere I go, the people really want to know who I is and who I be. They stop and stare when they see me.
Today is Thursday, November 18th. Today is the day that I'm supposed to be having my pre-drywall walkthrough with the project manager, construction manager, superintendent, foreman, whatever you call them, where you're from. That guy. I'm supposed to be having my pre-drywall walkthrough with him. That is scheduled for 1 p.m. In addition to that, I also scheduled a pre-drywall inspection through a third-party inspector. Because obviously, you know, this county's going to do their inspection. The builder's going to do their inspection. But the county inspectors work for the county. The builder inspectors work for the builder. I wanted an inspector that's going to work for me. So I scheduled them to do the pre-drywall inspection today as well at 10 a.m. I said I wanted to be present for the inspection because why not? Like, I'm trying to figure out like how this process works. So at least for this inspection, I wanted to be present just to kind of see like what they're looking for, what they go over it. I'm just curious about this whole process. So y'all, there's like people pulling up. I'm in a parking lot and there's people pulling up around me and they're like looking at me like, what the hell is she doing? Mind your business. You in my business. Don't do that. Anywho, so I reached hold please. So I don't know exactly where I stopped at when my mom called me, but basically I scheduled a guy to come out at 10 a.m. this morning to do the the pre-drywall inspection, and I was going to meet him there. So I got up this morning and drove out here to the property, which again, the property is not that far away from the house, so it's not like it was a long drive. And I got there like a couple minutes before 10, walked around a little bit, even had my mask on because I knew I was going to be next to somebody. 10 o'clock came, 10 o'clock went, he wasn't there. 10:05 came and went, he wasn't there. 10:10 came and went, he wasn't there. And then I finally was about to text him or call him at like 10:15, 10:20, like, bruh, where are you? And he ended up texting me and he was like, hey, I'm running behind today. My new ETA is going to be 12:30. 12:30. 2.5 whole hours after the original schedule. Here's my issue with that. You're texting me at 10, 15, 20 minutes after the time you were supposed to be here. You knew that I was going to be at the property because I told you that I was going to be there. And if you're a whole 2.5 hours late, you knew at 10 o'clock at our original time that you weren't going to be able to make it on time. Hell, you knew at 9:30, you knew at 9 o'clock that you weren't going to be able to make it at 10 o'clock if you're going to be a whole 2.5 hours late. So why are you waiting until 10:15 or 10:20? I can't remember exactly around the time. It was around that time to reach out to me and say something. I could have been at home in the bed. I could, or you know, at work. Now, technically, I could have went back to work, but I decided to stay on this side of town since I said I was going to be off today anyway. But I could have went back home, or I could have stayed at home and been in the bed, or like I said, working. I could have been working because I got a job to do. But like, why wait until after the time that you're supposed to be here? And it'd be different if it was like, hey, I'm running a little bit behind. I'll be there in like 5-10 minutes. 2.5 hours, my guy. Like, this really put a bad taste in my mouth. And like, so far the whole process has been really good, but this one like really pissed me off. Like, I was really annoyed because, you know, I just feel like the whole, you know, it's the consideration of the courtesy of it all. Like, if you know that you're not going to meet at the time that we agreed to meet, and that you confirmed twice. He literally just confirmed last night that he was going to meet me today at 10 o'clock. Why not, you know, let me know ahead of time? You should have told me hours ago that you were running behind, if you're running that behind. Like, you know, well before our meeting time that you're running 2 hours behind. You know this. So why wait? And then if you're going to wait, at least tell me, you know, before the scheduled meeting. Don't wait until you're already late to tell me that you're going to be even more late. Like, I don't get that. Like, I don't understand that. I tell people all the time, like, don't wait until the last minute. And the last minute is whenever somebody expects you to do something. That's too late to be telling them that you're going to be late. So if you're waiting until after they already expected you to do it, to tell them that you're not going to be able to do it, like, that's just really inconsiderate to me. So anyway, he said he can come at 12:30. The appointment with the project manager is at 1. And I don't know if they can, if they usually do kind of do it all together, but I didn't want it to be done together because I want to have my attention on the inspector to see what he notices, ask him questions, because he said I can, which is the whole purpose of me meeting him there. And then also have my focus on the project manager when we do our walkthrough. So I didn't want them to be done at the same time because I just didn't. So I told him that 12:30 wasn't going to work for me because his thing was going to take an hour and a half, he said. So he wouldn't be done until 2 o'clock, 1:30 at the earliest. And the meeting with the project manager is at 1. So I told him we needed to reschedule. So he's going to come out here tomorrow to do it. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to come tomorrow. But I'm going to try. So anyway, yeah, so now it is 11:15. So about an hour since I talked to him about that. I went and got me some breakfast. And now I'm about to go into one of these shops over here to make myself feel better because retail therapy always helps. Okay, that lasted all of 15 minutes. There was nothing in those stores that I liked except for one accent chair. There's a little Macy's market store, so it's like a little small Macy's, and they had this really cute pink chair. And I'm not normally like a pink person, but I think the color scheme that I'm going to go for in my office is going to include some like blush pink type of vibes, I guess. And I saw a really cute chair in there, and I that quick don't remember how much it cost, but they only had one, and it looked like maybe it was sold or something like that. It was claimed. So I tried to look for it on the Macy's app. I can't find it, or the Macy's website. And then I tried to look up the designer or the brand, and everything on their website is like $3,000. That's a no. So yeah, other than that, didn't find anything. Yeah, so far this morning has been non-productive.
Engineered hardware, so that's just like the metal strapping and the brackets, and you've got some braces down in the bottom corners, okay? All that good stuff's just to help reinforce your home. We want to make sure that your garage has a little bit of extra reinforcement because there's not a lot of support right here. I think the theory behind that is if you were accidentally hit it with your car or something, you want to make sure that you have that extra help, extra support. Your UFA ground rod, all you need to know about this is it's just getting static electricity away from the house, okay? So this is purely passive, like you'll be able to touch it even after the fact. It'll have a little cap over it and it'll say UFA ground rod, and I promise you're going to ask me what that is again. You do have a recirculation pump, which means you're going to get hot water at all those faucets a lot quicker. That's a really, really cool feature. Okay. And then coming over here, you've got your electrical panel. Okay, we use, there's GFI protected outlets, so the ground fault circuit interrupters. Okay, they protect you from getting electrocuted. And then we have arc fault circuit interrupters. Arc fault circuit interrupters help protect you from fires inside the walls. Imagine you screw in a TV mount here and you miss it and you nick a wire or something, okay? That stops that wire from arcing electricity between the wire and the screw. So, gotcha. And it'll sense that and it'll cut everything off. So they work at a higher degree of sensitivity. Okay. Are you getting a new fridge for this home? Don't get Samsung or LG.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's going to be...
Get yourself something American made. The reason is they're made for the American electrical system, okay? They work off 110, they don't work off the 220, which all the European ones do, which is what Samsung and that are designed for. You'll see the saw cuts we put in the concrete, okay? This is designed, concrete does two things. It gets hard, and then it cracks, okay? What these are saw cuts that we intentionally put in there, and the idea is that you're engineering a place for the concrete to do what it does naturally, which is crack,
Gotcha. Okay.
Hairline cracks are normal. I can pretty much promise you, you're gonna get some hairline cracks, okay? Completely normal for concrete. What's not normal for concrete is when you get those cracks opening up by more than 1/4 of an inch this way or this way. If it's less than that, that's considered normal for concrete, okay? So even by closing, you may see some cracks that you didn't see today. That's completely normal. Moving in here, your missing wall, we have had it installed. You're gonna have carpet in this area. You have a fan pre-wire above us, and then you've got...
They didn't do them.
They didn't do it. And you're meant to have them.
And they also not in the front room, cause I came by, I think yesterday or the day before, and looked. Oh, let me get out your room. Oh, so this HW stands for hardwood.
Yes, ma'am.
I like how you write it on the floor, so it's like,
yeah, it's that.
you shouldn't forget.
Well, it's good for me because it kind of maps out your home. So as we go through, and it allows me to check things off. Right. Because I can just walk into a room and go, yep, no.
Yeah, right.
So that's why we do it. We do have blinds going in all the way throughout the entire home. Elevation.
Oh, that's what that means.
Yep, elevation 34.
And the welcome, that just means that that's the front door?
And just a welcome, yep.
Gotcha.
Just to say hey. All right, so coming up, your stairs are going to be the wooden balusters. So these are just temporary rails for now, but the drywall's going to come all the way through. I loved reading all your verses, by the way.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed walking through and finding them all as I was doing my my pre-walk.
I did some more repair. I don't know if you've seen them yet. When I came up here last time.
Okay. This is a really easy place to add lighting after the fact, okay? I would absolutely do it once you move in, so it was a good choice to put them downstairs. We've got your low volt panel over here, okay? So this is where your smart tube from outside comes to, okay? Got all your smart tube cables, got power, outlets down here. Looking good, looking good.
I guess it wouldn't, because in the model, this was on this wall, but I guess it doesn't.
Well, the reason is you've got a load-bearing wall right here, and they don't have that room. So sometimes, just depending on your options and the way that your house is configured, they do have to shift it just to accommodate.
Okay. In the model, I think they were like the regular doors, but on the plan, it looked like they might be the sliding doors.
They're not sliding.
Okay.
We do French doors on,
Gotcha.
on all the doors out here.
Okay.
Yep, that'll be your standard. Who are you going to fill this house up with?
Myself and my stuff.
There you go. Okay. Which is going to look awesome. You've got the stone grey cabinets going throughout. You have the countertop extension, which gives you that big bar. Okay. Super Bowl party over here for sure. We've got the 3642 cabinet split, which is the upgraded cabinet configuration. That looks really, really pretty. You must be a lawyer or something.
No, I'm a
beautiful house.
Accountant. Okay, so for countertop,
yes,
I did not add backsplash because I'm going to choose my own backsplash.
Yep.
So I was told that you guys would just do the 4-inch lip for the backsplash since I didn't choose any. Is there any way to keep that off, to not do that?
There's not, but it's super easy to take off.
Okay.
Yeah, all you've got to do, so once it's installed, all you've got to do is come back in with like a razor knife. You just cut the silicone at the front, cut where it joins the paint at the back,
and
that thing pops right off. I think we only install it here. I don't think you're going to have any backsplash on this one. It'll just, it'll already not have it.
So yeah, and then like I didn't do the additional cabinet, so that means that there's not going to be any cabinets over here, right?
I think you just get the fridge. I believe that there's let me have a look at your layout. I believe that there's a lower cabinet. Just
no upper cabinets. Should there be an outlet for the dishwasher over here?
All this wiring is right here. So it gets hardwired in. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So you don't put any outlets in. And then you've got another wire here for your disposal.
Okay. So if I'm going to be changing out the dishwasher, then it would be easy to disconnect that and then put another.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. When you get your new dishwasher, they pretty much all can be hardwired in.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It's like the really cheap ones are the ones you can't hardwire, but it sounds like you're getting a fancy one. Anyway.
Yeah. So the other question I was going to have, and I'm sure the answer is no, but my mom always said a closed mouth don't get fed, so I'm gonna ask anyway. Would you be able to not install the appliances?
Unfortunately not. We are still waiting on some tape for those and some foam to seal everything in. But again, we're still waiting on your windows, waiting to find out what that is.
All right, y'all, it is Saturday, November 20th, and the 2 exterior doors have been installed. So there's the front door, and if we come all the way back here to the back of the house, we will see the back door installed. And they're working on my neighbor's house right now. They actually got the first floor framed and sheathed, so now they're working on the second floor. But in the meantime, they've got their tubs and their stairs in my house, but whatevs. Okay, y'all, I had to leave the construction site because it was getting a little bit too loud. They're actually working on like 5 houses right now on the same street, which is crazy because when I signed my contract, there were literally no other houses except for the 2 at the very end of the street. And now there's going to be a whole bunch of houses around me, which is fine because that means that I'm not going to be sitting in the construction zone for very long after I move in. So I'm good with it. I do plan on doing a whole separate video about what to expect during the pre-drywall meeting. But just as a quick overview, during my pre-drywall meeting, we kind of had 3 main areas that we talked about. One was making sure that what the project manager and his crew was expecting to put into the house was the same as what I was expecting them to put into the house. So in addition to making sure that they were going to build the house that I was expecting them to build, we were making sure that everything that was in the house, or everything that should be in the house at this point, was in the house. Now there were some things missing, most of which I mentioned in the Tuesday walkthrough that I did. So my LED lights, I could put 4 LED lights in the living room, 4 LED lights in my bedroom, and then a couple LED lights in the hallway, and then on top of that I could put 10 more LED lights in the house, and I maxed those out. They only installed 1, so they have to go back and add the rest of those. They also didn't do my pendant lights, and there was an outlet missing. The outlet was the only one that I was not aware of because I didn't know that there was supposed to be an outlet there. So he sent a text off to the electricians and let them know that they need to come and fix that. That was the first thing, making sure that they're planning to build the house that I was expecting them to build, and that everything that should be in the house at this point is in the house. The second big thing that we discussed, which really was the first thing because we did this part first, but it was the features of the house, basically in the walls, things that I'm not going to be able to see after the house is complete. So we walked around the house on the inside and the outside, and he was letting me know where things were for future reference. If I ever needed it, he would let me know, like, it's in this area, it's in this area, it's on this side of the wall. So that was kind of the second thing. And then the last thing we talked about was basically, what to expect next. So unfortunately, we are delayed because just as the rest of the world is right now, we are waiting on windows. We have been waiting on windows. The windows should have been installed. I found out on Thursday, which I actually kind of already suspected that, but I was like, I'm not a builder. Maybe, I'm wrong. But no, I was right. The windows were supposed to have been installed before we did the pre-drywall meeting, but they're running behind, and so we're waiting on those. And unfortunately, there's not much more that can be done in the house until the windows get installed. I mean, they can install my lights that they're missing, but they literally can't move on to the next step in the build process, which is insulation, until the windows come in, because in order to insulate, they need to have somebody come and inspect the mechanical, which is the electrical, the plumbing, the HVAC. But they can't have somebody inspect the mechanical until somebody inspects the house wrap. But they can't have anybody inspect the house wrap until the windows are in. So we are at this point waiting for the windows to come and be installed. And then once they are installed, then we'll get a series of inspections. And then once those inspections are completed, we'll be able to move forward with the actual construction process, which will include insulation and then drywall. And then we all know once those walls goes up, everything's going to move so quickly. And I was talking to the new sales consultant the first time I talked to him, and he did say once drywall gets completed, they're about 60 days out from closing. They're running about 60 days out from closing. He did tell me that if the windows came in on Friday, then I could mentally prepare to have the house completed by the first week of February, assuming there were no other significant delays. Now, as you just saw in the previous clip, the windows still aren't there. So I don't know how every single day pushes back the timeline. It might not. Maybe there's some wiggle room, and maybe there's some things that they can adjust later on in the timeline, do some things that they normally would do in a consecutive order. Maybe they can do it concurrently and make up some of the time. I don't know. But as of right now, we are waiting on windows. And like I said, we can't do anything else to the house until the windows are installed. So those are kind of the main three components: making sure that they're going to build the house and I'm expecting them to build, talking about some of the features inside of the house and inside of the walls that I'm never going to see again once the drywall is up, and then kind of like the next steps in the timeline. So I did have a list of questions. I had it on my phone in my notes app, and then I pulled my phone out, opened up the notes app. I must have accidentally highlighted all the text and then pressed the button because all my questions were gone. Y'all, I just recorded so much and the camera wasn't rolling. So that's what we discussed in my pre-drywall meeting. I'm really hoping that the windows come, very soon so that we can go ahead and keep moving forward with the process. In the meantime, if we are going to have some kind of delay, and even if we're not going to have some kind of delay, but now that we're at the point where there's not a lot of big changes going on, I'm not sure if the updates on the house are going to be weekly like they have been, or if I'm going to jump to a bi-weekly kind of video, just because even once they do get the installation in, like I said, you're not going to see a whole bunch of big changes on a day-to-day basis like we have been with the framing and stuff like that. So with that being said, let me know down in the comments what other kind of content you'd like to see related to buying a home, building a home, moving, and things like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to do videos every week because I don't want to just be putting videos out every week and there's really not any changes, that you can get excited about. So let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching this video so far. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, comment down below, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, y'all, we have passed 150 subscribers. I know that may seem small for some of you, but it's super exciting to me watching that number go up. I really appreciate you guys' support and, watching my videos, liking the videos and everything like that. So my next big goal is to get to 300 subscribers by the end of the year. So that's just under 150 new subscribers within the next 6 weeks. I think we can do it, but I can't do it without you guys' support. So again, I really appreciate you watching my videos, liking my videos, commenting, letting me know what you guys think of the videos, and sharing my videos with your friends. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell. If you've already been watching my videos, if this is not the first video of mine that you have watched, especially all the way through, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. It's free, and if you turn on your notification bell, you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. Again, thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through, and hopefully I'll see y'all next week. Bye.